Konnichiwa. Today we're going to talk about some words that I've been asked about recently. Several people have asked me to explain the word joshi, and my gold Kokeshi patron, Victoria-sama, asked me to differentiate between the words yosu and joshi. Now, she said that the dictionary definitions make them seem rather similar and difficult to distinguish. And I can see that abstract English definitions might have that effect, although in practice the two words are very different. So let's first look at yosu, which is a relatively simple word, and it means a situation, condition, state. We see the word yosu an awful lot in Japanese to Japanese dictionary definitions. And I've done a video on Japanese to Japanese definitions in which I talk about this, so I'll put a link above my head so you can follow that up. But essentially, the reason that yosu and also similar words like sama and koto are used a very great deal in Japanese definitions of Japanese words is because an awful lot of Japanese words are two kanji words, which means that they are Chinese origin words, and also means that they're nouns, because all these Chinese origin words, whatever they do in practice, whether they act verbally, whether they act adjectively, come into Japanese as nouns. They then need bits of Japanese attached to them, like the copula or suru, to make them do what they originally did in Chinese, but they are, in fact, by themselves, nouns. And Japanese to Japanese dictionaries have to account for this fact. English to Japanese dictionaries don't. They just pretend that the words are in themselves adjectives, so-called na adjectives, or verbs. And that's probably just as well, because if they took account of the fact that they were nouns, no one would know what they were talking about, because conventional Japanese grammar never teaches people the actual structure of the language. So, to give an example here of yosu used in this way, the word sei-san is defined as mugoi yosu. Now, sei-san is a noun. In English it's translated as if it were an adjective because that's the way it's most often used. So it would be defined as ghastly, lurid, appalling, etc. The Japanese translation is mugoi yosu. Mugoi means cruel, ghastly, appalling, etc. So it's using a Japanese adjective to translate the Chinese noun, because the Chinese noun is mostly used adjectively, but then it has to put yos on the end. It can't just say mugoi, because sei-san is not an adjective, it's a noun. So it's the situation, the state, the condition of being mugoi, which is what sei-san means. And we see this used over and over again precisely for this reason, that if you're being accurate to the structure of Japanese, and of course Japanese to Japanese dictionaries are broadly accurate to the structure of Japanese, you have to add something like yosu to turn that adjectival function back into the noun that the word on its own actually is. So this tells us what yosu is. Yosu is a condition, a situation, a way of being. And we see this used in various Japanese expressions. For example, yosumi is the thing of waiting and watching the situation, not doing anything but waiting to see how the situation, the state of being, develops. Similarly, yosu shirai means dependent upon the situation. If someone says, what are we going to do? And you say, yosu shirai desu, you're saying it depends upon the situation, depends on how the situation, the state, turns out. So yosu is a pretty straightforward, literal word. Joshi is rather different. It's more abstract, more metaphorical, and it's best to go back to the root of the word, what it really means. Joshi actually means tone, musical tone. So it's not just the situation, it's more the music of the situation. What do we mean by that? Well, if we say joshi warui, you're saying not feeling good. My joshi, my music, my tone is not good, not feeling good. Very often we hear the expression sono choshi, which means that tone, that music. And what this means is, it's going well, that's right, that's the stuff, that's the tone, that's the music, that's how we want things to go. When my channel does particularly well one week, according to the rather low standards of my channel, the YouTube bot says to me, sono choshi, it's going well, that's the spirit, keep it up. Choshi ni noru, riding the music, riding the tone, means getting carried away. If somebody praises you and you get very full of yourself and egotistical as a result, choshi ni noru, you're riding the tone. If you get carried away by what's going on, if you get overexcited by things, choshi ni noru, you're riding the tone. And if you do a lot of that, people might start calling you a choshi mono, a person who gets carried away, who gets overexcited, who gets cocky and egotistical or whatever, a choshi mono. Now there is another word that I think could be confused with choshi, and that's hyoshi. And hyoshi is also a musical analogy. But hyoshi is more the beat, the rhythm of things. And we often use this in a somewhat similar way to the choshi of sono choshi, which is everything's going well, everything's according to rhythm. So, hyoshi ni susumu, hyoshi ni iku, both mean that things are going according to the rhythm, according to the beat, they're going well. Conversely, the term hyoshi nuke means that the rhythm is interrupted. Hyoshi nuke is an anticlimax, a letdown, a disappointment. What we're saying is that the rhythm, instead of going ba-bum, 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 goes ba-bum, ba-bum, ba-bum. That's a hyoshi nuke. So I hope this clarifies these three words and the expressions associated with them. Yosu and choshi are really not confusable. They're very distinct in the way they're used. Choshi and hyoshi, which sound so similar, and are both musical analogies, are a little bit similar. Choshi is the commoner of the two, although hyoshi is not that uncommon. And this is one of those occasions where, with immersion, with getting used to Japanese, we come to know where choshi is used and where hyoshi is used. And we come to know that choshi is a much more regular, everyday kind of word. If you have any questions or comments, please put them in the comments below, and I will answer as usual. I'd like to thank my gold Kokeshi patrons, my producer, angels, who make these videos possible, and all my patrons and supporters on Patreon and everywhere. Thank you all for making this adventure into Japanese possible. And if you have any words that you'd like me to disambiguate or clarify, please put them in the comments below as well, because it helps me a great deal to know what it is that causes problems. For example, I didn't really realize that some people might have difficulty between yosu and choshi, though once Victoria-sama told me, I could see how that might very well arise. So your telling me what can be a problem is very helpful. Thank you for attending this lesson. Korekara mo yoroshiku onegai shimasu. Class dismissed.